Hello, happy people. This is the lesson on learning what expressions are for Algebra 1. So we're going to be finding parts of expressions and simplifying expressions. All right, so before we talk about what an expression is, we need to talk about what a variable is. So in algebra, a variable is any letter that's used to represent any unknown value. So we often use X, Y, N, A, B, C. There are there are actually three letters I won't let you use. You cannot use, so do not use these three letters. Do not use E, do not use I, and do not use O. So E and I are both numbers, respectively. In Algebra 2, we'll talk about E and I. And O just looks way too much like a zero. So do not use E, I, or O. All right. So an expression then is any mathematical sentence consisting of numbers, variables, and operations, and it cannot have an equal sign. So we have some examples here. 5n, remember, means 5 times n. 14 over y means 14 divided by y. 5x minus 2. Anything really that combines numbers, variables with an operation and does not use an equal sign is an expression. Even just like a number like 5, that is considered an expression. All right. So big thing about expressions, they don't have equal signs. So what we're going to be working with today don't have equal signs. So, yep, no equal sign. All right, so we're going to talk about parts of expressions. So the first vocab word for parts of an expression, we're going to use this expression the whole time to define parts. The first word is terms. Terms are anything connected by addition. So if we have subtraction, we're going to change it to addition. But all of so in 2x squared plus 2x plus 6 plus x plus 6, all of the orange parts are terms. So any part of the expression where you have a variable and a number, that's a term, and then the operation of addition in between. So these four here are terms. Another part of expressions are coefficients, and coefficients are found in front of the variable. Notice we're still using the same expression, 2x squared plus 2x plus 6 plus x plus 6, but there is a hidden 1. So this 1 was not written there before, but it is hidden and it is technically a coefficient. And a coefficient is simply the number in front of the variable. So in this case, in front of x squared, there's a 2. In front of x, there's a 2. And in front of this x, there is a 1. So our coefficients are 2, 2, and 1 for this example. All right, the next vocab word is like terms. So like terms are any terms that have the same variable to the same power or are constant terms. And constant terms means they're just integers, they're just numbers. So in our case of 2x squared plus 2x plus x plus 6, 2x and x both have an x to the first power, so they are like terms. If you had another number after like a plus 3, then the 6 and 3 would be like terms. And anytime we combine like terms for an expression, that is what we call simplifying. All right. So terms are connected by addition. Coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. and like terms have the same variable, the same power, or are constants. So we're going to identify the terms and coefficients and like terms here. Before we can do that, we need to make sure we have only addition throughout so that we can properly have the signs on our terms. So here we have subtraction. And the definition of subtraction is just adding the opposite. So I can change that subtraction to addition and the number after it to its opposite. So this is going to be negative 8 plus 6x plus 5. So now that I've done that, each of my terms are connected by addition. So that means when I write out my terms, my terms are going to be everything that's not an addition sign. So my 4 terms are negative 2x, negative 8, 6x, and 5. So notice my term is negative 2x and this term is negative 8. So the signs are important. That is why we change any subtraction to addition. So those are my 4 terms. My coefficients. Let's go. My coefficients. That's a fun word to spell. Coefficients, looking back so find our variables. We have x's, so we have a negative 2 in front of this x and a 6 in front of this x. So my coefficients are negative 2 and 6. Notice I don't put the x in because the definition of a coefficient is the number in front of the variable, so we do not include the variable. On your homework, it also says to do like terms. So if we do like terms, and we pair them, we have negative 2x and 6x, and we also have negative 8 and 5. So terms, all connected by addition, are negative 2x, negative 8, 6x, and 5. Our coefficients in front of the x's are negative 2 and 6. Our like terms are negative 2x and 6x because they both have an x to the first power, and negative 8 and 5 because they are both numbers. All right, the other thing we're going to practice is combining like terms. So for number 1, we have a 3c and a negative 2c. So if we combine those, we get 1c, and if we just have a 1c, we can just write c. If you put the 1 out front, it is not wrong. I don't know why it's not drawing the c. There we go. And then we still have a plus 4. So simplified, this is 1c or just c plus 4. And then for number 2, we have 4 plus 10r minus 5. So our like terms are constants. We have 4 and we have negative 5. So I'm going to write my variable first. That's always good practice to write a variable first. So 10r. And if I take 4 minus 5, I get negative 1. So simplified, that is 10r minus negative 1. These are not like terms because this has an r and this does not. So this is as simple as it can get. So this is 10r minus 1. All right. So today we found parts of expressions. So the whole thing, remember, is an expression. Each part connected by addition is a term. The numbers in front of the variables are coefficients. Like terms have the same variable, the same power, or are constants. And if we put like terms together, that is called simplifying. So here is the homework assignment. It is a worksheet. And so the copy of this worksheet is Brightspace for you if you need it. So I hope you have a great day and make it count.